Nancy and I grew up with wonderful role models in our parents. And Mother always taught us that one person can make a difference.
Nancy really believes that every single person on the planet has worth. It's part of her DNA. Her wonderful mother and mayor of Dallas in the 80s, Annette Strauss, was, I think, a guiding light for Nancy.
I think that probably around the dinner table, that civic involvement and community involvement was part of the nightly discussion.
She's used what her mother gave her to remember that those of privilege have to give back in unique and meaningful ways. Our wonderful Ruth Altshuler, our mentor, the guru of all knowledge and greatness in this city.
Everybody loved Ruth, including Gail and me. Everyone did. Well, the person who escorted her around a lot was Nancy. And Ruth used to say she was training Nancy. You can see a lot of Ruth and a lot of Annette in Nancy. I mean, she really picked up the best of both of them, but Ruth was such a gift to everyone, and Nancy is following right in her footsteps.
In everything that Nancy takes on, it's going to be the best that it can be. You know, she chaired so many events over the years. Her event always raised more money than they'd ever raised, was more fun than it had ever been.
When it comes to how she selects her causes is exceptional. She selects with razor-sharp precision, then she goes ocean deep, absolute loyalty, total commitment. She is a model for us all.
It's invaluable to have Nancy Halbreich on your team when you're undertaking something large, because she has the contact, she has the energy, she has the wherewithal to make sure that what needs to come to a particular project arrives on time, ready to go.
One of the things that's been consistent was her concern for everyone. I've heard her say more than once that just because someone's poor doesn't mean they shouldn't have access to health care.
A lot of the work that she does tries to make Dallas better for her and for everybody else that lives here, no matter what their economic background might be.
Nancy really was, in my mind, the absolute driving force for the new Parkland Hospital. And it is not a stretch, in my view, to say that Parkland is the house that Nancy built.
She was on the group that led the private campaign to raise $150 million for the new hospital.
Her involvement helped us have in the city one of the finest hospitals in the world. And every time I drive by the hospital, I see her image because of her involvement.
Before we even moved into the new hospital, Nancy was pushing to do a breast center.
Nancy could cut through all the extraneous information and get right to the heart of the matter. You need to help these people because they don't have anybody else to help them. In a short period of time, just 2 years, we had raised $40 million for a new Parkland Breast Center.
I think the DMA is better today because Nancy has not only given guidance, she's always thinking about how the arts can improve somebody else's life and how the arts really can transform a citizen. She's supporting all these great institutions because she's thinking that education is part of the goals that we all have in common. Not only the DMA should be proud of having Nancy, but the city as a whole is privileged to have Nancy with us.
Nancy began her involvement at SMU as a graduate student, and then she was asked to go on the board of the Meadows School, the Tate and the John Tower Center, and the Maguire Center.
There's no question. SMU is SMU because of Nancy.
If you don't have those individuals who have the vision of what's best for the university, but in a broader sense, what's best for the city and the state, then you're nowhere. You have to have people like Nancy Halbreich, or things just don't happen. In fact, this award, when you think of public responsibility, then that defines Nancy.
The J. Erik Jonsson Award for Ethics is given to individuals who have demonstrated their commitment, their long-standing service to the community.
J. Erik Jonsson loved Dallas. and he committed himself to making Dallas better. So has Nancy Halbreich. She has committed herself to making Dallas and those that serve Dallas better.
She doesn't take herself too seriously. She takes what she's doing seriously.
Think of the top Vogue fashion model, also first in her class in Elite University. Or Mother Teresa, but wearing Chanel with great jewelry.
I got an email from her, and she said, "Dear Bobby, I was noticing today at lunch that you were using a lot of those pink artificial sweeteners in your tea. And I'm very concerned about you doing that because it's very dangerous and I want you to stop doing that." Well, I didn't stop doing it, but every time I do it, I feel guilty. She has put a guilt trip on me that I cannot get over. I think about the thread that runs through everything that she does, the moral, the ethical, the values that are to be emulated. And even without words, she sets an example by her actions, and students see that, and it's impactful.
There are people in the community that are first responders and lifesavers, and they don't wear white coats and they don't wear uniforms. But they are people who see the need, and they're the first to respond to that need. Nancy is one of those people.
Dearest Nancy, you deserve this and more. Congratulations.
There are two iconic Dallas mayors who would be incredibly proud of your receiving this award. One, of course, would be Mayor J. Erik Jonsson. The other iconic mayor would be a lady named Annette Strauss. Your mom would absolutely just be so proud of you.
Nan, I just want to tell you personally how much I appreciate all the work that you've done. The new Parkland Breast Center is going to be fantastic, and we could not have done it without you.
You've been a wonderful supporter to me personally in my time in Dallas, but more importantly, you've been such a terrific supporter for Parkland and the patients that depend on this place for care.
I know you know how much I love you and how much I appreciate the fact that you have been such a central part of my life and my family's life.
Nan, congratulations on this wonderful honor. Mother and Dad would be so proud, and I couldn't be more proud. I love you very much.
Nancy, I want to thank you personally for all the support you provide for me and also for SMU. You are a wonderful person and a wonderful help to all of us that are trying to do something good for Dallas and our state.